Have you been shrinking and don't know why? Maybe your clothes don't fit the way they used to. Maybe your back feels just a little more curved. Or perhaps you've noticed your nails breaking more often, or a dull ache in your lower back that just won't go away. Most people chalk these things up to just getting older. But what if these quiet changes were actually early warning signs that your bones are getting weaker? Bone loss after 60 is incredibly common, but dangerously silent. You can't see it, you can't feel it at first, and by the time you do, it may already have done real damage. The medical name for this process is osteoporosis, and it affects millions of seniors, slowly reducing bone density until something finally breaks. Sometimes literally. But here's the truth. Bone loss doesn't have to catch you by surprise. Your body often gives you little hints that your skeleton needs support, if you know how to listen. In today's video, we're going to uncover 7 signs that may reveal you're losing bone faster than you realize, and more importantly, what you can do to slow or even reverse the process. Whether you've already had a fracture or you just want to protect yourself before anything happens, this is information every senior needs to know, because strong bones mean freedom, movement, and the ability to live independently for years to come. So if you've been wondering why you're not standing as tall, why your back aches for no reason, or why your balance just feels a little off, stay with us. You may be just one insight away from preventing a future you don't want to face. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1, you're getting shorter without realizing it. Mr. Don, age 76, was flipping through old photo albums one morning when he noticed something odd. In a picture from 10 years ago, he stood next to his daughter and looked about the same height. But in a recent family photo, taken just last month, she seemed noticeably taller. "I must be shrinking," he joked, half laughing. But deep down, he wondered if something more serious was going on. He hadn't changed his shoes, and his daughter certainly hadn't grown. The truth is, Don wasn't imagining things. He had lost nearly 2 inches of height, and he wasn't alone. For many older adults, gradual height loss is one of the earliest signs of bone loss, and it often goes unnoticed until it's already causing real damage to the spine. Losing height after 60 is not just a natural part of aging. It's often a symptom of osteoporosis or bone thinning in the vertebrae. The bones in your spine, called vertebrae, are small but crucial. When these bones begin to weaken and lose density, they can compress or even collapse slightly, leading to a noticeable reduction in height. Because this process is slow and painless in the early stages, many people don't realize it's happening until they've lost an inch or more. Some may attribute it to poor posture or back stiffness, not realizing that their bones are literally changing shape. The real danger comes when this loss of height is ignored. Compressed vertebrae don't just make you shorter, they also affect your posture, your balance, and your ability to move safely. Over time, the curvature in the spine can lead to a hunched or stooped posture, increased back pain, and a higher risk of falling. In some cases, spinal compression fractures occur, which can be painful, debilitating, and slow to heal. These fractures don't always happen because of major accidents. Sometimes, something as simple as coughing, bending forward, or lifting a light object can cause them in a person with undiagnosed osteoporosis. So how can you tell if you're losing height? One of the simplest ways is to compare your current height to what it was in your 40s or 50s. If you've lost more than an inch or 2, it could be time to get your bone density tested. A painless, non-invasive scan that measures how strong your bones really are. Another way is to keep track at home. Stand tall against a wall once every few months, mark your height, and compare it over time. If the line keeps moving downward, your bones may be trying to tell you something. Mr. Don followed this advice and discovered he had early-stage osteoporosis in his spine. Thankfully, it wasn't too late. With the help of his doctor and a few simple changes, adding more calcium and vitamin D to his diet, doing light weight-bearing exercises, and avoiding long periods of sitting, He was able to slow the progression of bone loss and prevent further height reduction. "I can't get those 2 inches back," he said, "but I can keep what I've got left." The lesson here is clear. Don't ignore the shrinking. It's not just about standing tall. It's about keeping your spine strong, your posture healthy, and your risk of serious injury low. Your height is more than a number. It's a reflection of what's happening inside your bones. And catching changes early could mean the difference between staying active and needing help to stand. In the next part of the video, we'll talk about another surprising sign of hidden bone loss, one you might see every time you clip your nails. What can brittle, breakable nails tell you about your bone health? You'll want to find out. Number 2, your nails are brittle and break easily. Mrs. Ellen, 73, had always taken pride in her hands. She kept her nails clean and neatly trimmed, just like her mother had taught her. But over the past year, she started noticing something odd. Her nails were splitting more often, chipping at the edges and peeling even when she hadn't done anything rough. At first, she thought it was just due to aging or maybe the weather getting dry. But when she mentioned it casually to her doctor, he surprised her with a simple but serious observation. Brittle nails could be a subtle warning sign of bone loss. Most people wouldn't think to connect nails with bones, but in truth, they share more in common than you might realize. Your nails are made of keratin, a protein, but their strength and growth are heavily influenced by your internal mineral balance, particularly calcium, vitamin D, and collagen, which also happen to be the same nutrients that maintain healthy bones. When your body is running low on the nutrients needed to build and maintain bone mass, it often shows up first in more fragile structures, like your fingernails. They're not just cosmetic, they can be early messengers of deeper imbalances in your body. For older adults, this is especially important. As we age, our ability to absorb calcium decreases. If you're not getting enough from your diet or supplements, or if you're not producing enough vitamin D to help that calcium get absorbed into your bones, your body may start pulling calcium from storage. And guess where that storage is? Your bones. But before it even gets to that point, your nails may begin to reflect the loss. Thinner, weaker, more breakable nails may be a signal that your bones are beginning to lose density as well. Mrs. Ellen began paying closer attention. She realized that her diet was lower in calcium-rich foods than she thought, and she rarely spent time in the sun, meaning her vitamin D levels were probably low too. At her doctor's recommendation, she started taking a combined calcium and vitamin D supplement, and she added more leafy greens, almonds, and low-fat dairy to her meals. Over the next few months, not only did her nails begin to feel stronger, but she also had more energy, and the constant ache in her lower back began to fade. "I thought I was just getting older," she said. "Turns out my body was just missing what it needed to stay strong." Brittle nails aren't always a sign of osteoporosis. They can be caused by hydration, medications, or even overexposure to water. But when this symptom shows up alongside others, like height loss, back pain, or posture changes, it's worth digging deeper. Your body has many ways of whispering to you before it starts shouting, and catching these quiet signals early gives you time to act before something more serious, like a fracture, occurs. One simple way to test is to press gently on the tips of your nails. Are they soft? Do they bend easily or peel in layers? Do they snag when you touch your clothes or blankets? These may all be clues that your body is struggling to maintain the minerals it needs. Consider speaking with your doctor about a bone density scan, a simple, painless test that can tell you if your bones are thinning. It's far better to find out early than to discover the problem after a fall. Your nails are more than decoration. They are reflections of your internal health, especially your bone health. They may not make a sound, but they do send a message. And if we learn to listen, we can take steps to strengthen not just our hands, but our entire foundation. In the next part of the video, we'll move from your fingertips to your spine and explore why that dull, persistent backache you've been ignoring might be something more than just stiffness. It could be another quiet clue that your bones are weakening from the inside out. Number 3, you have dull, persistent back pain. Mr. Thomas, 78, had always taken pride in being able to do things around the house. fixing a leaky faucet, trimming the bushes, carrying groceries from the car. But over the past year, something began to shift. A quiet, nagging pain had taken up residence in his lower back. It wasn't sharp or sudden. It didn't stop him in his tracks. It was just always there. A dull ache when he stood for too long, a stiffness that crept in during the evening, a sense that something deep inside was slowly wearing down. He thought maybe it was arthritis or just an old mattress. But when the pain lingered for months and seemed to worsen after even small movements, his doctor suggested a different possibility: age-related bone loss in the spine. Back pain is incredibly common in older adults, and not all of it is caused by muscle strain or poor posture. In fact, one of the early and often overlooked signs of osteoporosis is a chronic, dull ache in the mid to lower back, the result of tiny, often undetectable fractures in the vertebrae. These fractures are called compression fractures, and they happen when the bones of the spine become so weak and porous that they begin to collapse under the weight of the body itself. It sounds dramatic, but it often starts quietly. No fall, no injury, just the slow erosion of bone strength until your spine quite literally begins to sink inward. What makes this so dangerous is that the pain doesn't always scream. It whispers. It blends into the background of daily life. You feel it when bending to tie your shoes, when rising from a chair, or when standing in the kitchen too long. You take a pain pill, stretch a little, and push through, not realizing that your bones are actively weakening with every passing week. Over time, these microfractures can cause a permanent change in posture, a hunched back, reduced mobility, and eventually the kind of pain that truly limits your freedom. Mr. Thomas was lucky. His doctor ordered a bone density scan, and the results showed that his spinal bones were significantly thinner than they should be. It explained not only his back discomfort, but also why he had started to lose height and feel unsteady. With that knowledge, he began a new chapter, incorporating bone-building nutrients into his meals, starting a gentle stretching and strength routine, and wearing a posture support belt during long walks. Within a few months, the pain lessened. Within a year, he reported feeling more mobile than he had in years. "I thought I had to live with back pain," he said. "Turns out I just needed to strengthen what was underneath it." If you've been living with persistent back discomfort, especially low back pain that doesn't have a clear cause, don't ignore it. Don't wait until the pain becomes unbearable. It could be your spine quietly warning you that it's losing its strength and giving you one last chance to act before a serious injury occurs. A bone density test is non-invasive, takes just a few minutes, and can provide life-changing insight into your bone health. Sometimes we expect pain to be loud, but with bone loss, the danger grows in silence. That ache you feel today could be tomorrow's fracture, or it could be the reason you take action now and avoid it entirely. Pain is not weakness, it is information, and your body is always trying to tell you something. In the next section of this video, we'll move from pain to power and explore why losing strength in your arms and legs or struggling with everyday tasks might not be just about muscles. It could be a deeper sign that your bones aren't supporting you the way they used to. Number 4, you've lost strength or struggled to lift objects. Mrs. Janice, 74, always prided herself on being strong. She raised 3 children, maintained her home, and had no trouble carrying groceries or lifting a full laundry basket. But one afternoon, as she reached to pick up a small box of books from the floor, she felt her arms tremble. It wasn't a sharp pain or a pulled muscle, just a strange weakness, like her body was quietly telling her, "I can't do this like I used to." Over the next few weeks, Janice noticed it again. Lifting a gallon of milk required both hands. Her arms tired quickly from folding laundry. And when she tried to open a tightly sealed jar, she had to call her grandson for help. At first, she assumed she was just getting older. But when her doctor gently explained that this loss of strength might actually be coming from her bones, she was stunned. Most people think of strength as being all about muscle. And yes, muscles play a major role. But muscles don't work alone. They rely on strong bones to give them structure, leverage, and resistance. When your bones become weaker due to bone loss or osteoporosis, your muscles begin to suffer too. They no longer have a stable foundation to push or pull against. It's like trying to build a house on sand. Even if the walls are strong, the foundation won't hold. So when someone over 60 begins to feel like their grip isn't what it used to be, or they're struggling with tasks that once felt effortless, bone loss could be part of the reason why. What's particularly tricky is that this decline in strength often creeps in gradually. You may not notice it until you're avoiding certain chores, asking for help more often, or feeling more tired after basic tasks like vacuuming or carrying a bag. For seniors who have always valued their independence, this slow weakening can be frustrating, even frightening. But knowledge is power, and understanding that bone loss might be playing a role can open the door to real solutions. When Mrs. Janice had her bone density tested, she discovered early signs of osteoporosis in her wrists and hips, the very areas she was struggling with most. Her doctor explained that bones and muscles work as a team, and that by supporting both, she could start to regain some of the strength she feared was lost forever. She began with small changes, adding more calcium and protein to her meals, walking daily with light hand weights, and doing gentle resistance exercises using bands. Slowly but surely, her grip improved. Lifting household items became easier again. Most importantly, her confidence returned. "I don't feel helpless anymore," she said. "I feel capable again." Loss of strength is not just about aging. It's about what your bones and muscles are missing. If your bones are thinning, your muscles will struggle to perform. And if you don't address both, you may find yourself losing more than just physical power. You may lose independence, mobility, and quality of life. If you've noticed that lifting, pushing, or even holding objects is harder than it used to be, don't write it off as just getting older. Ask yourself, has it changed suddenly? Are both sides affected equally? Have you had a recent fall or accident? These small clues could point to an underlying issue with bone health. And the sooner you catch it, the more you can do to protect your body and reclaim your strength. In the next section, we'll talk about one of the most alarming signs of bone loss, a fracture from something minor. Because sometimes it's not the fall that's the problem. It's what was silently happening to your bones before you ever hit the ground. Number 5, you've suffered a fracture from a minor fall. It was a sunny afternoon when Mr. Carl, 79, tripped over the edge of a rug in his living room. It wasn't a hard fall, just a quick stumble and a landing on his side. He had fallen before in his younger years, even rougher than this, and always got up, dusted himself off, and moved on. But this time was different. Within minutes, his hip throbbed with pain, and he couldn't put weight on his leg. At the hospital, the x-rays revealed a fractured hip. The doctors were kind, but direct. "Your bones are weaker than they should be. This fall shouldn't have caused that kind of damage." That sentence stuck with him. The fall didn't break his bone broke because it was already fragile. For many older adults, a fracture from a minor fall is often the first undeniable sign that something deeper is wrong. It's not just about tripping or slipping. It's about how your bones respond to impact. Healthy bones, even in seniors, are meant to withstand small bumps and accidents. When a light fall leads to a broken wrist, cracked rib, or fractured hip, that's the body waving a red flag. It's saying, these bones aren't as strong as they used to be. Pay attention. What's so dangerous about fractures in older adults is that they often signal advanced bone loss, also known as osteoporosis. The hips, spine, and wrists are the most common sites of these fractures, and recovery can be long and difficult. In some cases, a broken hip can be life-altering, leading to loss of mobility, prolonged hospital stays, or even permanent dependence on a walker or wheelchair. But what makes this even more heartbreaking is that many of these fractures could have been prevented if bone loss had been detected earlier. The problem is, bone loss is quiet. It doesn't hurt. You can't feel your bones getting thinner. There are no obvious warning signs until the moment something breaks. That's why fractures from minor injuries are taken so seriously by doctors. They're not just treated, they're investigated. Because once a person breaks one bone due to osteoporosis, the risk of breaking another increases dramatically. It becomes a cycle, one that's hard to reverse unless action is taken quickly. Mr. Carl's story, sadly, is not rare, but it is also not hopeless. After surgery and rehabilitation, He committed to strengthening his bones from the inside out. His care team helped him start a bone-building nutrition plan rich in calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium. He began gentle balance exercises, Tai Chi, and lightweight bearing walks to stimulate his bones and prevent another fall. He got his vision checked, removed tripping hazards from his home, and used a cane until his strength returned. Most importantly, he got his bone density tested, something he had never done before, and began treatment to slow down further bone loss. "I thought it was just bad luck," he said, "but now I know. It was my body trying to get my attention." If you or someone you love has had a fracture from a simple fall, don't brush it off. Don't assume it's just part of aging. Ask questions, ask for a bone scan, ask about supplements, ask about fall prevention programs in your area, because that one fracture may be the clearest signal your body has given you so far, a chance to act before it happens again. In the next part of the video, we'll move from what happens inside the bones to what we can observe on the outside, specifically how your posture may be changing in ways that reveal your bones are weakening, long before a fall or fracture ever happens. Number 6, your posture is changing, more hunched or slouched. Mrs. Lorraine, 75, had always carried herself with grace. She was known among her friends for her upright posture, her elegant presence, and the way she walked tall even as the years passed. But lately she had started to feel different. She caught her reflection in a store window and noticed she looked more hunched over than before. Her shoulders felt like they were rounding forward, her upper back a little more curved. It wasn't dramatic, but it was there, a subtle shift in how she stood, how she moved, how she held herself. At first, she blamed habit or stiffness, but when her doctor saw her posture during a routine checkup, he gently said, "This could be your bones talking." Posture changes in older adults are often dismissed as simply part of aging. People assume that as we get older, we naturally begin to stoop or slump. But what many don't realize is that a gradual, hunched posture, especially in the upper back, can be an early and visible sign of bone loss, particularly in the spine. As the bones of the spine weaken, especially the vertebrae in the mid and upper back, they begin to lose height and structure. These small compressions can cause the spine to curve forward over time, leading to a condition called kyphosis, commonly recognized as a dowager's hump. This curvature doesn't happen overnight. It develops slowly, silently. It may begin with a feeling of fatigue when standing for too long, or an ache between the shoulder blades. Then one day you notice you're adjusting your mirrors in the car differently, or you can't reach that top shelf like you used to. You might feel unsteady when walking, or experience difficulty balancing when turning or stepping backward. These small adjustments in posture don't just affect appearance. They affect balance, stability, and mobility, increasing the risk of falls and limiting your ability to move freely and safely. For Mrs. Lorraine, the change in posture was more than just physical. It affected her confidence. She found herself avoiding social outings, uncomfortable with how she looked and moved. But when she learned that her posture was a reflection of what was happening inside her bones, and that it wasn't too late to act, she felt a renewed sense of hope. She began daily posture exercises, focusing on strengthening her upper back and core. Her doctor recommended resistance bands and light weights, as well as Tai Chi to improve alignment and control. She also made changes to her nutrition, increasing her calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D intake, all of which support spinal bone health. Over time, her posture didn't just stop worsening, it began to improve. She stood taller again, not because she had reversed years of aging, but because she had started to support the structure her body needed most. Her muscles were no longer working alone. Her bones were finally getting what they needed to hold her upright. If you've noticed your posture shifting, if your head leans forward, your shoulders round in, or your upper back seems more curved than it used to, pay attention. This is more than appearance. It's a possible signal that your spinal bones are losing density and strength. The good news is that posture is changeable, and it's never too late to strengthen the muscles and bones that support your frame. Try standing against a wall with your heels, back, and head touching it. Can you do it comfortably? Or does it feel unnatural or strained? That small self-check may reveal more than you realize. And if something feels off, talk to your doctor. Ask for a posture assessment or a bone density scan. These small steps could help prevent bigger problems and help you stand strong in more ways than one. In the next section, we'll explore the root of so many of these problems, nutrition and movement, and how lacking just a few key nutrients or habits could quietly accelerate the loss of bone without you ever knowing. Number 7, you're not getting enough calcium, vitamin D, or movement. Mr. Stanley, 81, had always believed he ate pretty healthy. He didn't eat fast food. He had oatmeal in the morning, a sandwich for lunch, and something light for dinner. He enjoyed his quiet mornings with a book and rarely missed his favorite afternoon TV programs. But after a minor stumble in his garden led to a fractured wrist, his doctor began asking questions. Not just about the fall, but about what Stanley was eating and how he was moving each day. When the bone density scan came back showing signs of osteopenia, the early stage of bone loss, Stanley was puzzled. "I thought I was doing fine," he said. That's when his doctor explained something he had never really thought about. Even if your diet seems balanced, you could still be missing the 3 most important factors that keep your bones strong: calcium, vitamin D, and regular movement. Bone health is often misunderstood. Most people think of bones as solid, unchanging structures, like bricks in a wall. But the truth is, your bones are living tissue, constantly being broken down and rebuilt. And in order to rebuild, your body needs the right materials. Calcium is the most obvious one. It's the primary mineral stored in your bones. But your body can't use calcium effectively without vitamin D, which helps it get absorbed into your bloodstream and delivered where it's needed. And even then, those nutrients won't do much unless your bones are stimulated through movement, especially weight-bearing activity, like walking or gentle strength exercises. Unfortunately, as we age, our ability to absorb and retain these nutrients declines. Many seniors unknowingly consume far less calcium than recommended. Some skip dairy due to digestive issues, or don't eat enough leafy greens, almonds, or fortified foods. Others assume their multivitamin covers everything, not realizing that a typical supplement may not provide sufficient levels, or that they might be missing vitamin D almost entirely. Vitamin D is especially tricky because most of it comes from sunlight. And if you spend a lot of time indoors, use sunscreen regularly, or live in a colder climate, your body may not produce enough of it on its own. This deficiency is widespread among older adults and often goes undetected. Movement plays a bigger role than most people realize. Your bones respond to gentle pressure and impact, not from harsh workouts, but from daily use. Walking, climbing stairs, carrying light groceries, standing up from a chair without assistance. These are all activities that tell your bones, stay strong. We still need you. Without that message, your bones begin to weaken, no matter how many supplements you take. It's a combination of the right fuel and the right activity, and when one is missing, the other becomes far less effective. Mr. Stanley began making small but meaningful changes. He added a calcium-rich snack to his day, yogurt with chia seeds, or a handful of almonds and dried figs. He asked his doctor to check his vitamin D levels, which were, as expected, quite low, so he started a supplement tailored to his needs. He also committed to walking around the block every morning and doing seated leg lifts during TV commercials. At first, it felt like a big adjustment, but after a few weeks, it became second nature. He felt steadier, more energized, and most importantly, more in control of his health. "I didn't know what my bones needed," he admitted, "but once I learned, I realized it was never too late to start giving them what they were missing." The challenge with calcium, vitamin D, and movement is that they're often overlooked. They're not dramatic or urgent. They don't demand your attention until the damage is done. But if you've been experiencing signs of bone weakness, height loss, brittle nails, persistent back pain, or posture changes, these 3 elements might be the root of the issue. And the best part is, you can start addressing them today from the comfort of your own home. No drastic diets, no gym membership, just small, steady steps toward nourishment and motion. In the final part of this video, we'll bring everything together, all the subtle signs, the missed nutrients, the lifestyle gaps, and show you how to recognize the patterns your body's revealing. Bone loss might be silent, but with awareness and action, you can rewrite your story and protect your strength, freedom, and independence for the years ahead. Conclusion. Bone loss doesn't knock on your door with a warning. It doesn't shout. It whispers. Through the slight curve in your back, the nagging ache in your spine, the inch of height you didn't realize you'd lost, or the moment your hand trembles while lifting something you used to carry with ease. It speaks through cracked nails, subtle posture shifts, slower movements, and bruises that seem to appear from nothing. These signs, though quiet, are not meaningless. They are messages from your body. And once you know how to listen, you begin to understand that aging isn't about giving up. It's about tuning in. In this video, we've explored how seemingly unrelated clues, from brittle nails to back pain, can reveal a deeper truth about the state of your bones. You've learned that losing strength isn't just about muscles, and that a fall isn't always caused by clumsiness. Often, these moments are the final straw after years of silent bone thinning. But the most important message is this: it's not too late to take back control. You don't need to wait for a fracture to tell you something's wrong. You don't have to accept that shrinking, stooping, or hurting is just part of growing older. The truth is, your bones are still listening. They are living tissue, rebuilding, adapting, and responding to how you treat them each day. With enough calcium and vitamin D, with regular movement, with attention to your posture and balance, you can slow bone loss and even strengthen what remains. It doesn't take a radical overhaul. It takes small, consistent actions. Actions that, over time, restore confidence, ease pain, and protect your independence. Imagine being able to stand taller, walk steadier, and move with less fear. Imagine doing the things you love: gardening, playing with grandkids, traveling, without the constant worry of falling or breaking a bone. These aren't dreams. They're possibilities, but only if you choose to pay attention now. Get your bone density checked. Talk to your doctor. Adjust your nutrition. Add a little movement to your mornings. There is no age limit on protecting your future. Mr. Carl, Mrs. Lorraine, Stanley, Janice. Their stories are real, and so is their progress. They didn't wait for life to slow them down. They saw the signs, they took action, and they gave their bones the support they needed. You can do the same. You deserve to live with strength, with dignity, and with the confidence that your body can carry you, safely and fully, through the years ahead. So take this as your moment. Not a scare tactic, not a lecture, but a gentle hand on the shoulder reminding you that you're not powerless. Your body still wants to protect you. Your bones still want to hold you up. Let's give them every chance to do just that. Thank you for spending your time with us today. If this video helped you see yourself or someone you love in a new light, share it. These are conversations worth having. And remember, the signs of bone loss may be silent, but your actions can speak louder. Until next time, stand tall, move gently, and keep choosing health. One strong step at a time. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.